Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus and yes, I listened to you. You wanted to see more Skyrim. So that's what I'm going to do today, starting the, let's say, first campaign of the base box. I'm not sure if I will be able or willing or you are interested in me playing this to the bitter end. So in the base game there are two campaigns and they consist of, I don't know, two to three chapters each, I believe. But I will definitely play through the first chapter of the first campaign, which is definitely something I played. I also played the second chapter, but I haven't played the third chapter quite yet. And I already also made some, let's say, deliberately some choices to play things a little bit differently compared to my previous run. So for me, it's also a good exercise, learning experience, how replayable this game actually feels. And it's not too long ago that I played the first two chapters. So I'm playing a different character, which is a nameless Dunmer here. And I also have given myself a different, let's say, starting main quest, that is. I'm framed. I will come to all of this narrative in a second. Before I get started, huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. You guys are truly amazing. And also I'm recording this basically on the 23rd of December. So not sure when you are able to watch this video. Anyway, Merry Christmas to you. Safe travels into safe journey into 2023. And yeah, with that being said, let's get cracking. So let's have a little bit of a read of campaign 1, The Plains. And here is chapter 1. A group of blades escapes the Great War in Cyrodiil, hoping to find a safe haven in Skyrim. Once they are there, they try to build a normal life, but conflict follows them. I already have prepared basically all of the stuff. I really hope I haven't missed things. So let's check out our first main objective here. I see a familiar face in the crowded streets of Solitude. Nightless Jir is a man I knew before I joined the Blades. When I approach him, he starts screaming, "Murderer!" In a matter of minutes, I'm arrested and chained to a wall in the dungeons of Castle Dower. The man guarding me openly claims my arrest is an injustice. I manage to sway him to help me escape. Once released, I track down my accuser. He's not hard to find, living in the poorest quarter of the city. I break into his house and find a mysterious note. Let's flip this card. I'm not even sure if I should have been able to do that or if I should have read the event card first, but I think in this case it doesn't really matter too much, at least I hope. Dearest Nightless, you've known so many people through the years, many of them joined the Blade's cause. You'll recognize their names on the back of this letter. If you manage to work your influence and get them arrested, you'll be glad that you did. Moreover, can I? On the back of the letter, I find a list of names of Blades, mine included. Place your player figure up here in Solitude. And by the way, this quest marker here is something that I think the campaign instructions told me to place there. Right now, again, there's nothing to gain there. I think later on it might matter. But this mechanic also heavily depends on the amount of players. So you only place that with a 1 or 2 player game, for example. So I think it's the game does a good job balancing things out. And just yesterday I learned that there is a 5 to 8 player expansion. I think it's mainly supposed to work for the free roam, which I haven't tried yet, but yeah, sounds massive to me. Now we have an option. I will recruit a mighty warrior to help me find Moiva Kanai. So we get choose 2 equipment cards and we are adding card 168. Or I'll reach out to someone wiser than me, find Moiva Kanai. Choose 2 equipment cards, basically the same thing, but we are getting slightly different main objectives here. Looking at the Dunmer, who has a flame cloak in combat, lose 1 life to deal 2. Yeah, that's a tough one. To all enemies and player characters. I think it does include me because it doesn't say all other player characters. We want to learn light armor and we want to learn destruction, so we gain destruction spells. So yeah, does this help me in any way? I'm honestly not so well versed in the lore of Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls per se, so I'm not quite sure what these Dunmers would. I mean, yeah, there are a little bit, let's call it the sneakier kind. So I'm a little bit inclined to go with option 2, right? Yeah, let's do that. So let's have a little look at our character. Some things I forgot to give ourselves. So we always have the ragged robes, we have the fists. Basically, that's what we always have. So when we lose our last weapon, we will go back, default back to our fists. And the same is true for armor, so we have the ragged robes always with me. And the same is true for this minor potion of healing. We can in theory sell it, but we start the game with, and we also have those 2 plant-based resources which we need later on for our potion of minor healing. I like this mechanic a lot. We get 2 items from the item deck, from the free item deck. Well, not free, it's basically the crafting deck. Let's put it like this. And I decided to go with a spell, with a destruction spell, which goes well together with our destruction ability. So this might be something we could consider. And we are also going for a hide armor, which also basically helps us with our light armor skill, which we might want to learn to gain more stuff. So I guess let's do that. So we are placing the armor in here, and we will definitely equip fists are always 2-handed. For the sparks we can equip it like this, so we can still put stuff in the other hand. So we could still buy a dagger, for example, if we want to. But having the spell in here isn't too bad. So I think that's mainly part of the setup. Of course, we still get our story, but one thing I almost forgot. We also have a chapter card, which is the Tainted Haven, year 175 of the 4th era. The Great War rages across Tamriel. A group of young blades recruits go on their first mission, a patrol around the forest of Cyrodiil. A Thalmor ambush catches them off guard and their Bailey escape alive. Upon returning to their camp, they find it desolated. The Thalmor have been here. Cyrodiil is not safe for them anymore. They escape to Skyrim, far from the Thalmor clutches. In Skyrim, the Reachmen have conquered Markarth, and tensions between them and the Nords are rising. So this is basically setting that I should have really be the first thing I read, but it's mainly around those special rules for those chapters. There are no special rules for this chapter. Maybe good, maybe bad. And the chapter will fail if a main quest card reaches its threat threshold. Yeah, the chapter is lost, and then we are reading 202. I think there is no such thing as really losing the campaign per se. Again, you can't die. Maybe for the last chapter of a campaign, there could be really something where it says you have really ultimately lost. Yes, you can also lose this chapter, and then you're typically suffering stuff, or you're not gaining things that you would have gained when you won the scenario. But yeah, for now, let's make sure we are not losing. I mean, easy as that, right? So let's bring out card 170, which is the Unwanted Guest. So that's basically our main mission. It's really a main quest. It's not a personal quest. Again, personal quest would have a dot beneath or next to that number here. Edwaril the Summoner is still nominally a blade, even though she spends her time researching in the College of Winterhold. Okay, we want to go to Winterhold. That's what this little arrow tells me. And then we continue reading. So this is our first quest. This is basically removed from the game, but we might as well hold on to this. It doesn't really hurt. And I think, and this is now where I'm a little bit also unclear, if I should have done that reading here first, actually. So basically still part of setup, because it might have changed things, quite honestly, because then I wouldn't have the space here available to park thread icons on. Curious. But I think I should have been able to do so, right? I mean, otherwise, where would I park these? Would I immediately place 2 threads on cities or strongholds? I don't think so. So now let's draw our very first event, and that's the Treasure Hunter, which happens to be a world quest. Riches beyond belief are hidden in ancient chambers. Can you get them without waking the undead menace? Okay, we will have to place 2 threat tokens. That's basically why I think we should have been allowed to draw that first main quest card, because otherwise we would have either failed this one, we would have placed one here, and one goes to... I think the game wants to give us some time. If I'm wrong, then let me know and I will play this correctly and maybe can repair that later on. Doesn't matter too much. So we will place basically one of those unnamed quest markers in, I think it's a crypt in the Pale, which is actually up here. I think this is the only crypt there. So let's park it here. I think there are 2 things. Yeah, these, I think, what are those? I don't know. I keep forgetting what those are. Normally all those spaces are only once per hold. Okay, this is a world quest. We will place it here to the active world, because we still have to deal with those. So I think we will place 1 onto the treasure hunter. And I think a second one goes to our unwanted guest here. So here we can still park 2 safely. If we would place the 4th in here, we would have failed. And I think given our special rules for this chapter, if a main quest card reaches, yeah, we have lost. So we don't want this to happen. I'm relatively certain I will not be able to deal with the treasure hunter. At least not yet, because in order to fulfill this, we have to basically clear 3 of those in that location. And I think the rules say I have to fight them as a group. So I have to fight them simultaneously, not one after another. Again, I might be terribly wrong, but that's how I understand the rules, which is why this is very, very brutal. But also the penalty is not the end of the world. We would add 2 vampire tokens to any of those wilderness spaces, which I should be able to avoid anyway. But yeah, that's our event. Let's go to our movement step. And of course, I have forgotten to place our quest marker here at Winterhold. This is where those unwanted guests are. Will I be able to make it there? I think not. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now here's the question. Do I want to go for, going to Don't Start doesn't really help me. Yes, I could go for one of those narrative encounters, but we could also go for this one here. This, again, typically gives you extra missions, which is usually a very good thing, as it gives you simply some buffer for those threat tokens. So here you can really game the game a little bit. On the other hand, going for one of those dungeons here, for example, or this is a crypt, it's still a dungeon in the end, might be beneficial too, because that's how I level up. This is how I get loot, for example. But I think I want the quest first, just to get a direction right, and I want to move as fast as possible, because from here I should be able, 1, 2, 3, 4, to make it to Winterhold with my next action. Yeah, let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. This was my action, and this was my movement. And now for my action, I think I will go for a narrative exploration here at the wilderness. So we are taking the topmost card and have a little read. We have Ceci, the naked traveler. Psst, here, in the bushes, some brigand stole my clothes while I slept. Care to help me make new ones from these leaves? Okay, nice. So this is a good thing. We get 1 resource of our choosing. That's, I think, typically what always happens with those. So we could go for a plant-based resource. We could go for some more soul gems. And I think that's what I want to have, because ideally, I get 2 of those, and then I could not craft. Oh no, I cannot upgrade this. I see this now. This can't be upgraded. Maybe that could change things. I could still go it for this one here, but I could always... No, that's fine. That's fine. And we will hold on to the soul gem for what it's worth. But that's not all. We have our first test. We have to design a fashion. So we would roll 3 dice. We would gain a bonus from enchanting. We don't have the enchanting skill, so no more bonuses. We could push with our leaves. Okay, this could change things. So let me back this up. So I'm not taking this one here. I will basically take a plant-based resource instead, because this could be an immediate reroll. And I think getting this is good. We could gain 2 and 2 more experience points. So this could be our reroll. No, let me back this one up. Allow me this one here. So we are rolling 3 dice, and we need this symbol here twice. Again, this is a 33% chance to roll. It's basically a 4 out of 5, if you want to put it like that. Actually, I wouldn't have minded if they would have put little numbers on these dice. So let's see. Awesome! We made it! Awesome. 1 and 2. This is exactly what we need. We didn't even need to push. So we can hold on to this plant-based resource. Now off to a good start here. Awesome, I like that. We are successful. So again, we gain 2 experience and 2 plant-based resources. And we gain quest 7, 5, 6. So this could be actually a card from one of the expansions. Maybe from the Ashes one? I think so. So here are 2 experience points, 5 more to go, and we gain 2 more of those. And again, those are double-sided. So we are now at 5, which is good. We could use it for healing. A lot of these plant-based resources are good for rerolls, for example, in other scenarios. So I think overall, this was a very good encounter. And here we have card 756. It's a quest. It should be a personal quest, so it should have a dot next to it. But coming from the expansion, maybe something is off here. I don't know. So, they stole my clothes and my secret. help me get back my documents. Teach those brigands a lesson. He points forward as I've known what he's thinking. I guess I'll just walk over there. So we place our personal quest marker in one of those spaces in the reach, which is unfortunately not directly where we need to go, right? Where is it? Ah, this is... What am I talking about? Here's the reach. Oh, it's even worse. So basically all the way up here. Oh gosh. I think I can hold on to quests basically from scenario to scenario, chapter to chapter. So maybe something will bring us there. But for now, it definitely can take some threat, which is a good thing, I would think. And that's basically... yeah, the end of our turn. This card is really removed from the game for now, so in this campaign it won't surface again, which kind of makes sense. And then we are moving into the next round. We will draw our event. Now the starting player would move, but again, we are playing alone, and this is another World Quest, Contract on Cultists. Basically the same thing. The Black Sacrament has been performed. A group of cultists must die. The Brotherhood demands it. Okay, in Falkreath we have to place, let's say, one of those quest markers here. We have to clear one human, and I think this is an occult, a monster or so. And again, I do think that these work as a group. Right. As our reward, we would shuffle 1, 4, 5 with the top 4 cards of the event deck. So this must be a good thing, right? But again, I'm not sure if I have to engage those in simultaneous combat, or if I can take those on basically like in a dungeon, one after another. I don't know. But for now, we will place it here. We still have to place 2 threat tokens. So definitely one will go onto this card itself, and I think another one may need to go in here, right? I think so. And here's a, let's say, not really a problem, maybe rather a balancing question. Because, again, I'm adding 2 threat, no matter how many players I have. If I have 4 players, I'm adding 2 threat. If I have 1 player, I'm adding 2 threat. With 4 players, we still draw the same amount of event cards because we are drawing 1 card per round. So we are also not doing this per player, for example. With 4 players, I have way more spaces to place these threat markers on compared to a 4-player game, a 1-player game, for example. Of course, it's much easier for me to fulfill my mission because I only have to do that once. For all the others, sometimes you even have to wait for others to complete their mission. So it's not just that one can storm the gates, basically, and will do the stuff for everyone. No, in this game, really, everyone needs to progress on their main quests, at least. So maybe it's balancing out this way, maybe not. I don't know, I really don't know, but this is something I really noticed here. But that's that. So we can take our movement, and maybe because I'm going over, okay, let's also take that back. I'm not placing this threat marker on my personal quest. I will place it here. And similarly, I will do the same for the Contract of Cultists, because I'm about to flip this card. And then, as far as I know, could be terribly wrong, we will then remove this card anyway, and every threat on it will be lost. So it's basically gone. For now, it's really just parking the threat here. So yeah, let's do that. And again, as I'm playing alone now, I have to play things a little bit more tactically to really have to do the damage control around those threat tokens. Okay, let's move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to Winterhold. Now, as I am in Winterhold, I can do stuff. I can engage with the market. So I could go for this quest. I could go for one of those narrative explorations here, for example. And I can also, again, trade with the market, which doesn't really cost me an action or whatnot. So I could sell my potion, I could sell my spell, whatever, but let's not do that just yet. Let's stay on target and deal with the thing here in Winterhold. She's agitated. Apparently one of her experiments went wrong, and now there's a spirit in the cellar that won't leave. She asked for my assistance. Okay, so we will have to clear card 365, which happens to be an enraged spirit. Okay, this is already a pretty nasty one because it has 2 armor types. So I have to bring out those. So we have some light armor here on 3, and we have some, let's say, magical armor down here. Not terribly, or not a lot, but still bad enough. So this is what we have to engage. It doesn't come, are you kidding me, with any immediate rewards here, but we really hope to get something out of this. And If we fail this, this could be already pretty terrible, quite honestly. So we get to choose what we want to do, right? Do we want to go for a sneak attack? Which I can't do, I believe, with spells. Exactly, sneak cannot be used to perform combat actions from spells. So all the more reason to get myself a dagger, for example, rather sooner than later, just for this very first round of combat, for example. Yeah, maybe this should have been my strategy all along. But again, I will not take things back. Again, I'm playing things differently. I'm playing a different character, so I'm learning as I'm going. So I already see some, let's say, new experiences here, which is a good thing. Okay then, but this means I'm not going to sneak. We are going into a normal round of combat, which means I have to roll the enemy die if I will be able to find it. Here it is. So we have 3 symbols, which are not so great, and 3 symbols, so it's basically a 50-50 chance that nothing will happen to me. And awesome. This is a great start. We are not losing anything. So what are we going to do? Let's have a quick look at our spell, the Sparks, which is a destruction spell, right? We could shock, or we could go for a burst. I think the shock for now might be sufficient just to get rid of the magical damage. And we only need to roll this symbol here. So we are rolling for destruction. We don't have the destruction skill yet, so which means we are still only rolling 3 dice, and we need this 33% symbol, but only once. And I already mentioned this in my tutorial. I really like this combat mechanic. It's very quick, very swift. It's not very complicated once you have read through the intricacies and some of the smaller exceptions and whatnot. But yeah, let's see. So we are rolling those dice. Oh, this is not good enough. Are you kidding me? This is basically a 6 and a 1, 2, 3. So we needed this symbol here, which we didn't roll. First of all, we had to spend one of those in order to cast that spell. And now I can basically push, basically spending one again to re-roll. Do I want to do that, or do I want to wait? Oh, that's a tough one, because I don't know. This would have been successful, by the way. But of course I have to choose the type of attack first in this case. I will not roll, I believe. I will not re-roll just yet. No, let's not do that. So the great start is already gone. We are moving into the next round of combat. We will start with the enraged spirit. Okay, that's bad. It's basically dealing 2 points worth of heavy damage, which would directly hit us because we don't have the heavy armor. We only have light armor, and with light armor you can't block heavy damage, so we would take 2 points worth of damage. I could now consider to try to dodge. It costs us 1 stamina. We still would need to roll this symbol, then we could basically block it all. So for now, I think let's simply take that damage. I can still heal twice, actually. So I think we are okay for now. Oof, not really a great start, but it's our turn again. I think I will stick to this, so I will spend 1 more magical essence or whatever this is, and again we'll roll those dice. I will take 3 different dice this time, so here are those failures. Are you kidding me? This is really tough. Again, I will not re-roll. No, I won't. I won't be re-rolling. Oh, that's so bad. This is so bad. Let's move into the next round of combat. Okay, I think in this case I have to dodge, right? So yes, because otherwise I would hit my final blow here, and this is not great. Yeah, but I will hit the final blow anyway. So we are dodging, which means this is our combat action. We are not attacking, we are defending. So we have to spend 1 stamina here. We still have to roll the very same symbol, actually. So apparently it doesn't really matter which dice we are rolling. So we are rolling these 3. And now, okay, this time at least we dodge, which means we are completely negating that damage here. But this means we are moving into the next round of combat. We are rolling the enemy die again. Are you kidding me? This is basically 3 times or 3 times a 6. This skull is once on this die. This is the worst he can roll. I mean, he can roll that twice basically, but still this one wouldn't be great either actually. We don't have that symbol. It's not a light armor anyway, so maybe that's even worse. But there are 3 other symbols which he could have rolled. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I will spend another stamina to block again. or try to block or dodge. It's a dodge in this case. And okay, this is a good roll actually. So we are not taking any damage again. So let's roll again. Next round of combat. Okay, this is fine. So we stay to the plan. We will spend one of our magical essence. We really need to get rid of this armor here first. Everything else doesn't really matter too much. So we're rolling these 3 dice. They seem to be okay. And yeah, okay, this time we are good. This is the symbol we needed. As we did magical damage, we have to first go against the magical damage. But again, we do 1 damage. He's 1 armor. But the enemies always take at least 1 hit on the armor, which means this magical damage is gone. So with our consecutive attacks, we can really make things relatively easier, because then now the enraged spirit doesn't have the right armor type. So if we do 2 points worth of, let's say, magical damage, yeah, they will basically take it directly against the light armor. Okay, I take that. Next, let's roll again. Next round of combat. This is the axe. The axe doesn't appear. It's basically a whiff, which is amazing. So this time we may want to use our burst attack. Right. So we have to pay 1, 2 here. We are still only rolling 3 dice. We need 2 of these not symbols now, but this would inflict 2 either magical or light damage. We get to choose, not them. So we would do 2 magical damage in this case, which would be a full hit. But again, it's not easy. Awesome! These are the 2 hits. Perfect. We are doing 2 magical damage. Again, the Rage Spirit doesn't have the right armor type, so it's losing 1, 2 damage. We need 1 more to go. But I believe I should be able to use my Flame Cloak now. In combat, lose 1 health to deal 2 to all enemies and player characters. So I guess we can do that. So first of all, we have to lose 1. That's what it is, in order to trigger this. Next, all enemies will take 2 points worth of magical damage. That does include the enraged spirit, of course. He has 1 left, so we have defeated that monster. Nicely done. To all enemies and player characters. I think it does also hurt me, so in theory I would go down to 0, but this is where my final blow comes into the picture. So I will go down to this final blow. I will stop here basically. So I'm barely alive. So the next time I'm taking any point of damage, I would be defeated from this combat, but for now I have to stop here. No matter if I would have taken 2 or 10 points worth of damage. This is my final blow, but this was good enough to defeat this unwanted guest here, which means we are flipping this to the other side and do some reading. Nicely done. Okay, here we have the success. Edwell the Summoner is grateful. Okay, we gain 3 of those soul gems and 3 experience points. So this isn't bad. We are already at 5 XP, 2 more to go, and we have 3 soul gems, which we can definitely use to, maybe we can even craft something. We are still in Winterhold, and we can also deal with or negotiate with the town after we have encountered things. Nice. But yeah, let's do some reading. By the way, this symbol here would mean we would have to remove one of these, what are these called? The blade stack. We didn't figure out what those blades are for, because you build the blade stack based on some instructions of the scenario, but you're not really using them in this chapter, on this campaign even, other than really removing cards from it. In campaign 2, whatever is left will then get shuffled into the respective deck. So the better we do here, I think the better it would be for us, because this could be awesome stuff. I don't know. Edwell the Summoner uses a spell to trace Moiva Kanai's note. Her eyes go wide and she slams her fist on the table. The Khajiit has peculiar allies. The Khajiit caravan outside Falkreath. She falls unconscious. Again, we have 2 options here. I'll talk to the Khajiit and try to get information on Moiva Kanai, or I'll ambush the Khajiit and force them to talk about Moiva Kanai. Ambushing, I think I'm a sneaky guy. Right? So I think I will stick to option 2, right? Yeah, let's bring out card 178. And of course, this also means we have to go to Falkreath. So I think we take the marker from Winterhold down to Falkreath. I already see that here. The Khajiit are quietly spending the night on the outskirts of Falkreath. Again, we can park 4 of those threat tokens on it. Here, this little box tells us we should be at level 1 in order to engage it. We are very, very close. So when we travel down, we might be actually able to get there. And down there, we have to clear 3, 7, 8. I guess it's a Khajiit we have to fight. Awesome. So now I'm up here in Winterhold, and again I could still do stuff. I just gained some soul gems, which I could use to enchant my hide armor actually. For 2 I can do that, and I have even a spare one, which would give me an extra draw. So let's spend 2 for now, virtually, so we are drawing the topmost enchantment upgrade card. And this is, okay, heal 1, that's not bad, after every encounter. Normally, again, if you go through a series of encounters, you're not healing. In this case, you do heal. But I still think, let's spend the 3rd one here to draw a 2nd one, so I have some choices. Maybe I find something better, I don't know. Okay, what is this one here? Fortify stamina regeneration when using rest. Yeah, okay, the rest is on our character card here. No, I think in this case we will definitely stick to the absorb health. So this is basically discarded. I think it goes to the bottom of the deck, but I think it doesn't matter too much, quite honestly. So we have now, our armor can now absorb some health. Nice, nice, nice. I think this definitely can help us. Now we are basically at the end of the turn, which means we are fully healing back up. After every encounter, you also, let's say, heal the stamina and your magic, but again, the health is something that you can only auto-heal at the end of the turn or of the series of encounters, or however you want to look at things. Okay, that was nice. Let's do another turn in this video. Why not? We're just getting warm. And this is another world quest, the Skyforge. The Skyforge lies dormant, still you can forge some weapons with it. Okay, we place something in Whiterun. Okay, which is here in the center of Skyrim. So we still have to place 2 thread. Question is, how soon will I be able to make it there? And what do we have to do? We have to forge. With smithing, we need 3 successes with 3 dice for every ore we are spending. We get a push. I think this could give us great stuff. So maybe that's at least something we could try to consider. I think so, at least. So for now, again, we have to place it to our world quest area anyway. And then I think we are going to place 1 here and 1 here. And if we have to place a 5th world quest, we have to fail 1 of those. And then, yeah, the fail effect kicks in, which is typically not great. Especially the one down here, because we would have to degrade Whiterun. We could no longer use the market, and then we could spend money in order to, I think, improve it or so, repair it. I don't know. But okay, that's the event. And again, next we want to move from Winterhold down to Falkreath. Definitely more than 4 spaces and also 5 spaces. So even with a horse, we wouldn't make it there. The thing now really is, we could definitely use the carriage, but carriage would cost money. The way how this would work is we are counting the holes. So 1 hold, 2 holes, 3 holes. For 3 gold, we could make it down here to Falkreath, to the next stronghold. We have to start our turn in a stronghold, and we would, I think, also end our turn there. Okay, I think it's time to move into a dungeon. Right. So we're moving 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, what is this? I keep forgetting what those are. A Tuema city dungeon, of course, this does make sense. So now we have to basically check what enemies we have to deal with. This is where this reference card comes into the picture. I think there is a card for each campaign / chapter. So we have, I think this is a Tuema character, and we have a ghost kind of character, which we have to deal with. Okay, let's do that. So here is our first enemy, and we do that one after another. So this is really clear, they are one after another. So here we have this, and then we have one of those. We start at level 0. There are expansion cards in here which seem to be tougher than the basic ones, so I really hope I didn't shoot myself in the foot with that. Okay, then let's start our series of encounters by flipping over our first enemy, and this is a dwarven spider worker. Also with some magical armor and some light armor. Right, it has a sneak of 2. Again, in theory, I could equip my fists in order to do some sneak damage, but it really doesn't help us here. I really need the dagger rather sooner than later. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, maybe we get there sooner or later then. Yeah, let's not equip. We will stick to our sparks, which also means we are not doing a sneak attack. I'm really playing this completely differently than I played it before, and I must say I like that. So again, that's now the official first round of... Oh no, it has an ambush. It has an ambush, quite honestly. So if we don't sneak, it's... Ooh, it really hurts us bad. So we want to sneak, right? But can I do the sneak, actually? That's a good question. So, okay, I do think we want to start with the fists. I have to spend 1 stamina to change that, unfortunately, because I haven't done that basically prior to my encounter here, right? Because I didn't know what was waiting here. So I think that's only fair as spending this stamina. But now I can make the sneak attack. So again, normally I would roll 3 dice, but because my height armor gives me an extra sneak, I would roll 4 dice. And I want to roll 2 of these not symbols. Awesome. So there are no rerolls whatsoever. So I basically hit it in the face with my fists, which is definitely nice. So this was the first round of combat. We are completely ignoring the ambush now. So it takes 1 point of heavy damage, which I think in this case... Ooh, I think we are doing this, quite honestly. We get to choose basically where we hit it. Yes, yes, yes. And now we are moving into the next round of combat. So again, I want to switch weapons now, which is a bit weird because I'm exchanging my fists, but that's still good. We are spending another stamina point, and now we would also roll the enemy die, of course. So let's start with the enemy, and it's, of course, it's the maximum it can do. I could basically still dodge. That's still allowed. I can freely do so. The question is, do I want to do that? It's 3 and 1. I think I can take that at least once. So yeah, we will suck it up. 1, 2, 3, and 1 of those. So now we get to act. We will go with our shock. So we are spending 1 magic mana here. We are rolling 3 dice, and we know the drill, right? And this is so bad and ridiculous. Me and rolling dice. I really should stop rolling dice. Okay, I will not re-roll. I will simply go into the next round of combat. So we are rolling this again. And this is the flame, which is good, which is a whiff. I will spend another mana in order to, again, use my shock. Yes, this time we were successful. We have to go for this, but it doesn't matter because it's gone anyway. It's 1 for 1 in this case. And again, I could now... Oh no, now I think I cannot use my flame cloak easily because I would then also be basically removed from the encounter. So I will simply have to go to the next round of combat. Let's hope for something good here, and it's the skull. And the skull, I think, is always a hit. The skull is always a hit. 1 to 3 chances to miss that, and they didn't. This bloody spider. So now I think I will have to dodge. So I will spend 1 stamina to roll 3 dice. Yes. And okay, we dodged. Awesome. So that's okay. Let's roll again. So we move into the next round of combat. And okay, they missed. We are spending 1 more mana to roll the shock. Yes, awesome. The spider is no more. Cool, cool stuff. So we get 2 experience points. And if you would be with several players, every player involved in the combat would gain these 2. And this brings us to 7. So we can and we have to level up at the end of this basically day. Here we get to choose if we want the iron or if we want the gold. And I think as I want the dagger, I think I will go for this iron resource here. But this basically have killed this spider. We will carry on, but first of all, we will fully refresh our mana and our stamina. And because of our enchanted hide armor, we heal 1 after every encounter. So I think that's still good. Nice. let's reveal the next encounter. The problem now really is with this one here. Yeah, we don't get any more experience points because we already maxed out. Okay, that's a trap. That's a flamethrower trap, which I think should be actually beatable. It comes with one of those, and now we can go for a lock picking. If we don't do that, we would suffer this, and then we would go into the next round of combat. And I think here it doesn't really matter because I need those two results anyway. And I think again, as with basically, it's very similar to the sneak test. We can't really re-roll that. The question really is, do I want to go for the lock picking? Because with 3 dice, I have to roll this symbol here twice. And if I don't hit it, we take the damage and then we have to basically go through the same round of... If I would have lock picking, the skill, I would have considered that. But I think we will simply deal with a flamethrower threat here. And the thing is, the only result that it misses is unfortunately the blank. So let's roll that. And yeah, it definitely does hit us. In this case, it would hit everyone in the group, which is definitely the benefit. If you are really playing this in the same dungeon with 2, 3, 4 heroes, then maybe someone wants to get in the way just to save the others from a terrible fate afterwards. But I think, yeah, we have to Sagak 3 points of heavy damage, which we can't block, but 1, 2, we will stop here at our final blow. And then again, it doesn't really matter. We will simply go for our shock in order to deactivate it. So we spend 1 mana in order to do so. This is out. And awesome, we were successful. Cool. So the trap is no more. And the good thing is we haven't lost the XP because this trap doesn't give us XP. It comes with 3 straight gold. Now that's really, really cool. And the backside of these gold coins is actually a 5, not a 3. How about that? But that's cool. I take it we have cleared the dungeon. And depending on the highest level monster in the dungeon, we have also dealt the killing blow, that is. Maybe I should have told you this. So the player who dealt the killing blow in the last encounter of a dungeon basically gets a reward, and depending on the highest level monster that was part of that, we either get a basic or an advanced item. And I think it's only 3 or lower is always a basic item, so I definitely don't complain about this. So this is our card. It's from the basic deck, and it's a silver emerald necklace, which we could either enchant, so we could make it a healing necklace, for example, or we can simply sell it for 7 gold, which is huge. That was pretty insane. So now we shuffle these monsters back into, not really shuffle this, they would shuffle them on top of the deck. So here we have the Dwemer deck. So we are taking the next topmost card from it. We are taking the card that is discarded. If we would have been above that level, we would have also removed this card. But I think in this case, and really shuffling 2 cards is really obnoxious. And we have to do the same for this ghosting. We don't know what we are shuffling it with. Or the trap could be right back, actually. So I think I have forgotten this now, what it is. But again, there is a trap relatively likely to appear relatively soon. Nice. And because we are now at our experience threshold of 7, we have to level up. And looking at our character sheet here again, I think again we want either go with light armor, which would give us an additional light armor. It's okay. But I think we want destruction, because not only would we roll more dice for that destruction spell, no, we would also add 1 extra damage to the destruction spell. So this is huge. So let's spend that XP. This is gone. And again, you have to level up, and there's no point not doing, because any access would be lost anyway. We are placing the destruction ability onto the 7th. So the next time we have to level up is at 8 experience points. We would roll 1 extra die for this. And again, because of this, we would also add an extra damage. It's the end of the turn, the day, whatever. So we will also heal up, but we also get to increase one of our stats. And I think I will have to go for, oops, this one here. Yeah, we will level this one up. We are still on 0, which is good. So I think we will heal basically back up to this. So we gained some more mana for the next fights to come. Amazing! The thing now is about this one here, because we have made it to this threshold, the next time we are encountering level 0 enemies, we have to remove them from the dungeon deck. So the enemies also level up with us, which works pretty well in this game. So we might only see this fire trap once more. And we still will encounter, we'll not directly discard it when we draw it, but after the encounter, we check every basically level 0 monsters and or traps, and will then afterwards remove them from the game. So very nice rebalancing thing that the game offers here. But that's basically really the end of our turn. We have a lot of gold. We have 3 gold here. We have the necklace, which we could, so we have 10 golds in theory. We have one of those. So I was considering to actually craft something, but maybe we simply buy a dagger or so, if we are somewhat lucky, of course, that is, because you're not really drawing an awful lot of market cards when you go for a market action, but still something worth to consider. Now we have level 1. We may want to consider to go for this Khajiit warfare here, because again it's a suggested level of 1, and our spells, our destruction spells, really have gotten way more powerful now. I think that's definitely a good thing. Cool, but I think for today I will end my video. Let me know what you think, and definitely let me know if I misplayed some of the things. Again, I'm not 100% sure about the timing of this very first card here, and there was something else which I wasn't 100% sure about in my playthrough here. But yeah, let me know if I missed anything or misinterpreted something, then I will, as usual, try to correct this in my next video or so. And yeah, again, tell me if you like it. Maybe give me some suggestion of what you think I should be doing next with my Dunmer character. Again, my plan is to move slowly down towards Forgreath, doing stuff there. On the way there, we will definitely have to deal with at least one more event. We have to deal with some more threat tokens. But yeah, I'm really curious how things go. And it's already a different game compared to the chapter I played, let's say, a couple of days before. Yes, of course, again, the twists are always the same, the narrative, the whole thing is the same, but all these little bits and pieces already feel very differently. And I think that's pretty good thing, actually. I think it has definitely some replay value, which obviously is a good thing in my book. And yeah, let me know. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.